were we thinking?
We're full-time RVing for the past 2 years. We sold our house in Pennsylvania 2 years ago.
That's good.
With the thought of chasing warm weather.
Yeah.
And eventually maybe buying a house somewhere down south, somewhere nice and warm.
Right, we were thinking we could travel around and figure out where maybe a few years down the road we'd want to have a home base or somewhere that we could be for a couple of months out of the year.
Yes.
Anyway.
And yet we just bought a house back in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so that's the what were we thinking part. Because we're right back where we started, basically.
Pretty much.
But it's a much smaller house. It's different than the previous one. It's less expensive. It's much smaller. And we're not going to be here permanently.
No, we're still going to travel a lot. But the what were we thinking part, that still kind of gets to us. It seems kind of very surreal that we bought a house back here. But we did have a lot of good reasons. And, you know, if you're curious, if you're thinking like, oh, we want a full-time RV, should we keep a home base, should we have a house or not? We're gonna share with you kind of why at this time in our lives this is the right decision for us to still maybe have a home base.
Yeah, because there's definitely pros and cons, and we knew all the cons when we were going full-time RVing. It's like, oh, because we were so much stuff in the house and maintenance and overhead, and we knew those cons, but as we were on the road, there were some pros to having a house that we are now finding that we put a lot of value on, and so we're kind of in the middle now.
But we're dealing with all the cons right now, which of course is all the little home projects.
And stuff, there's just stuff everywhere.
And we need to buy stuff to put in the house, to keep stuff in the house. And yeah, so yesterday's projects were putting new locks on the doors. Jared changed out a chandelier that was in the dining room that we want to have as a bedroom. And so that's today's project.
There's tools that we needed that we didn't have anymore. You know, we have a house, we got some tools, and we're just picking up some things that we kind of forgot how much stuff you need when you're in a house compared to in a motorhome that's only 300 square feet.
Yeah. And so we're not thrilled with that. But yeah, so we keep them around to do the house projects, which right now, so yeah, you can tell by the bed that this is
That's not a project.
This is supposed to be our bedroom. These two are supposed to be, now that Jared switched out the light for the chandelier, they're supposed to move our bed over to where the chandelier was.
I'm trying with this thing design.
So,
we had to sort of repurpose one of the rooms because we needed an extra bedroom on the main floor for me, and McKenna needs on the main floor right now because she's using a wheelchair because of her GBS, and of course I need on the main floor. So we kind of took a room that I think they were staging as a dining room because there's a chandelier real low. So we repurposing that as a bedroom. It's a big, nice bedroom, but the chandelier had to go because people were knocking their heads on it. Jared,
I bent it.
especially, he actually broke the chandelier with his head.
He didn't break it. He just
Oh, it was broken,
with
right,
his hard
Jared?
head.
Yeah, it was broken.
It was broken. The frame was actually, when we took it down,
The
the frame
metal
was
frame.
actually broken. So
It was
He has
that.
a very hard head, in case anyone was wondering.
So now their job is supposed to be rearrange the bed and get it in the right place so it can be just a little more functional.
Yeah, we'll see if they can get that done while we're talking, because you see they're not real effective at doing it. So, okay. So, reasons why we found it was a good idea to have a home base and in Pennsylvania rather than someplace warm right now.
Yeah.
And I guess the number one reason would be kids. One that bugs us a lot.
You have 3.
That would be Alexandra.
Yes, and she really wanted to be up here close to family and friends. The past 2 years that we've been traveling, it was, can't we go to Pennsylvania, can't we go? And last year we ended up spending like 3 months in the fall up here, and it was not easy to find campgrounds.
Yeah, in the 2 years we've been back to Pennsylvania a few times, and during those times we found that it was really tough to find a campground, especially before like April or May. They aren't really open, and then after beginning of November, even October, some of them are closed because of the cold weather. So it was just, sometimes it's just good to have a home base, especially since we come to Pennsylvania so much.
Yeah.
It'd be good to have a home base. That was our thinking. Somewhere to go, it's easy. We know we can just park the RV right in the driveway and stay for a few months and not really have to stress about where
Not
we're
have
gonna be.
to worry, because what we ended up doing, there were some campgrounds around. None of them had full hookups. That was about a half hour from where we needed to be. That's on the floor. free help, it's not always the best. So those didn't have full hookups. They got to be expensive. Most are only open from April to October in this area. So when we want to be up in the fall, which is a lot of times she wants to be up here in the fall for the holidays, we didn't have a place to stay. We did find a Boondockers Welcome, but you know, those are generally only 3-4 nights maximum at a time. So
and we were still, even at those campgrounds, we're still 30-45 minutes away from even the close places we wanted to be, maybe further from my parents and things like that. So it was just eating away at our time when we were here. We weren't getting to really enjoy as much of it because we were driving so much.
Yeah, we found that out last fall with those 3 months. It was like we were here 3 months, but it was so much driving, 45 minutes to and from the campground to church and most of the places we want to go, that it really, that was, in our thought process with the whole thing is, you know what, there's no place to stay. If there was a good campground, I think, close by, with full hookups, I think we wouldn't have done this. But Alex is young yet. She's got another 6 years or so that she's with us. And so as long as she's with us, she's going to want to spend a lot of time in Pennsylvania. And if we're going to be spending a lot of time in Pennsylvania, then it made sense for us to have a house.
Yeah. And once it's all set up, it's going to be nice to have the extra space and things like that, at least for a while, until we get back on the road in a few months.
Yeah, and of course, right now we're going to stay here longer is ideal timing because with the coronavirus and we're quarantined. So we're here at the house. We have plenty of time to do all these little projects and get some stuff done and get things situated. So that's going to work out well. And so to have a home base, this isn't the Pennsylvania part. We had started talking a few months ago, 2 years into our journey, that it'd be kind of nice to have a home base. It has a lot of benefits in that you do have a place to go if some crazy thing like this happens, or if you have an illness or something. We had that with McKenna with her Guillain-Barré syndrome. That was one of the things that we started thinking we should have a home base because of doctors and therapy. She'd have like a 6-month recovery. So being able to be in one spot was really important. So you never know what's going to come up.
Yeah, even with me, who had pressure sores really bad that I was on bed rest for 8 months.
Yeah.
And had a surgery and everything. It would have been kind of nice to have somewhere in one place to get medical care. As it was, I was at 3-4 different places around the country.
Yeah, California, Indiana, Pennsylvania, Florida, going to all these different doctors being seen, and then they have to reevaluate. So having a home base,
Your phone is cricket.
But so having a home base, if you're going to have any kind of emergencies or anything like that, is helpful. And also, I think the nice thing, which I thought of once we were in here, was that if there's any maintenance or anything to do on the RV, we can get it done now. When it's your home and you're in it 24/7, we got very lucky in our, over 2 years of traveling that we never had a big problem that we had to have fixed. But if you do, to be out of your home for a couple days or a week or something like that, you'd have to be in a hotel. We have the dogs and all that. This way, if there's something big that we want to have done on the RV or need to have done, we can come here, we can stay in the house for a month or two, whatever we need to, and have our other home on wheels fixed.
Yeah, and we're going to take the advantage of the time here to do some, not like repairs, but just renovations, improvements we want to make to the motorhome that are tough to do when you're living in it.
Yes.
So we're going to do some painting and improve the storage situation a little bit in some places. Okay, but before you go, we want to show you the result of the kids' project, which was rearranging our bed, so it was a little bit more functional bedroom.
An easy project this time.
So what do we have? See now, ooh, that chair looks good in the corner. Guitar, I like that.
I think we need that chair in the corner. But this is good. So it gives us all this extra space rather than the bed being here. And we have the window right there. And Carmel and Pepper, they're testing out the bed. Do you like it here, girls? Check another project off the homeowner list. See you next time.